Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down.
Alright, here we are, folks.
Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We're gonna light it up.
Welcome back once again. This is Chris Report, and he assured me that St. Simon's down in Boulders. Folks, this is Chris Wyatt reporting from South Africa. Man, oh man, is it good to be alive, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. It's the 9 Owls edition here live from New York. No, it's not from New York. From Central Pennsylvania. Glad to have you join me once again. It is early morning. Only the cocks are making noise at this hour in South Africa. I don't know, maybe some other livestock on the farms. For folks here in America, it is late at night, 10:35 on the East Coast, and just 7:35 out in La La Land, also known as the People's Republic of California. Welcome back to the program, folks. Chris here. I hope you're doing well. Small audience at this hour, but that's quite all right. It's been 3 days since I've been broadcasting on this network. Well, on this channel anyway. I did broadcast a rugby game on Saturday, which was stolen from Scotland with horrible television match officiating. But welcome back to the program, folks. It's been an exciting past 3 weeks. Still hold off on the announcement of what I can share with you. But I will tell you that I've learned an awful lot about people in the past month from two different separate unrelated events. And I'll tell you, a lot of people are just crap. But last night, flipping through my mobile phone, sitting on my couch late at night, watching that cancer or that addiction known as TikTok. And boy, all the nostalgia of the 1980s just made me melancholy, thinking about what an incredible decade the 1980s were. The hairstyles, the members-only jackets, the upturned collars, the polo shirts, oh my goodness, the mullets. I never had a mullet. I'm telling you, the 80s, I miss them so much. The world was such a simpler place. To be fair, much of the world lived behind the Iron Curtain, and it was miserable for them, or lived in China and suffered immeasurably. But you know what? For many of us, it was a much better time. And we harken back and remember those wonderful days when bands like, I don't know, Tears for Fears were around. Shout, let it all out. Oh, what an incredible time. And of course, there was Alphaville, When You're Big in Japan. Yeah, yes. And Forever Young, of course. That's a great song now being used on TikTok videos all the time, Forever Young. I'm thinking about making one for myself where I take pictures of myself throughout my life and say Forever Young, show 1, 2, age 5, 10, 15, 20. They do it with celebrities. Thought about making one of myself. I've just been busy and I have to figure out how to do that. But yeah, pretty cool stuff, don't you think? Yeah, it's the 80s were an amazing decade. It's just a shame I can't play the music here and we can enjoy it together. But of course, that would be a copyright strike on the PooTube. Yeah, so even though it's not making money off their songs. But let me say hello to the handful of people here in the chat. We've got Val Cooper. She's here very quickly. And Chris Marie's here. Vilma Erasmus. Andreo Fick is here. Gus is back. Mike is in from PA. Good evening, Mike. And live is one thing, but you know that it's 5:36 in South Africa. Yes, Casper, I did say that, did I not? I did say only the cocks were crowing at this hour in South Africa. Yes, so that begs the question, Casper. If it's 5:36, what you doing? Hey, Acid Zill, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Now, the other day, I just want to be clear. I did my broadcast on Friday, and some people challenged me on things, and I made some misinterpretation and confusion on my part. So I offer my humble apologies for, I wouldn't say losing my cool, but I do regret, a little bit of what happened in that conversation. So to be clear, a couple of folks, one was making a point, trying to make a joke, which wasn't clear to me, so I was unsure. But I've already apologized to Alter Bridge for that. And then R1 was here, R1 was here, and R1 said that his aunt is making questions. I went back and watched the video link that he sent me, and I didn't say what the lady claimed. I never made any such claim. And she took my comment, which was a sarcastic comment in passing, and has made a mountain out of a molehill. So it's a shame that people fixate on something that happened a year ago and was one sentence in an hour-long conversation, and that wasn't even a thing of any importance whatsoever. This is related to Volodymyr Zelensky's wife purportedly shopping in Paris. It was a sarcastic comment because it had been widely reported that she'd spent all this money. I didn't claim that in my video. In Gareth Cliff's show, I said sarcastically, that he's here begging for more money from America, telling us we haven't given enough. His wife's off shopping in Paris. That's what I said. That was sarcasm. Apparently not everybody gets it. You think a lawyer would be able to figure that one out, but apparently not. Anyway, whatever the case is, I went back and watched it. Now I know what they're talking about. Cape Independence, you should get them on. Acid Zill, I've had them all on. I've had Jack Miller on the program a couple of times. I've had Phil Craig. I've had Hein Marks. I've had Des Palm. All of them been on this program. But there's nothing happening in Cape Independence. There's no news there. I've had them on repeatedly. All of them are friends of the program. All of them are people whom we talk to. But I've had them on. There's nothing happening. Do you guys know something that I don't know about? Have they gotten the DA to finally hold a referendum in the Western Cape on secession? I haven't seen that. Has something happened? Have the numbers tipped over? Try again. I don't have to try. I can ask any one of them right now to come on the program, and they'll come on the program. When I was in South Africa on my last trip, I actually linked up with Cape Exit. And the previous trips, I've linked up with Hein Marks from Cape Independence Advocacy Group, and I've also linked up Phil Craig from the Cape Independence Advocacy Group, and Hein Marks from the United Liberty Alliance when I met him at his home and broadcast live from there. Plus, they've been on the program when I was here in the States. So, asked, so what do you want to know? Give me the topic, brother. I mean, I got nothing to talk about. As far as that, am I going to bring him on and say, hey, you're going to tell me the same thing you told me 2 years ago? You told me last year? Nothing has changed. If there's something breaking, then let's cover it. It's not like I've never had them on the program before. But yeah, I know that Joe Emilio's had them on, and I'm not sure what he said, but I haven't had time to watch Joe's content of late. But yeah. So anyway, a lot of people making a big stink about this Rublesdal situation. And I have not produced content on it until tonight. And it wasn't really about Rublesdal. It was more about City Press libeling Steve Hofmeyer. You may have watched that video, some of you here, before you came on the program. Wow. Well, I tell you what, they really stepped on their crank. I am telling you, City Press better hope that they don't get sued because, man, they'll be taken to the cleaners. I mean, if Steve Hofmeyer can be found guilty of criminal injuria against no specific person by making a comment about sexuality on Twitter, which harmed no one, yet he has to pay 100,000 Rand or something like that judgment. I wonder how much money City Press will have to pay for making a claim that Steve Hofmeyer is an avowed racist. You know, if they just called him a racist, they'd be in trouble. But they said an avowed racist. That would mean that he has claimed that he's a racist. That means he is sworn to being a racist. There's no evidence of that whatsoever. This is just ludicrous. These people don't get how much jeopardy they've put their paper in. And Steve Hofmeyer might wind up owning City Press. If he wants to go after them. Yeah. No, did you see it, Andrea? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Let me pull it up here. I did do a video on this as well. Let me find the content here. So, yeah. This is really beyond the pale, folks. I mean, these people have stepped on the crank. This is not some trivial situation here. City Press has made an unfounded claim that's just absolutely beyond the pale. And here's the editorial that they have. And they man, oh man, I'm telling you, this is stupid. Rublesdal guard dog attack, a shameful display of racism in democratic South Africa. Now, that's fine for the title. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that. And they go on to talk about the farmers. They put a little link to a video in here. And they said the town was also in the news last year after Corey Pretorius assaulted a 16-year-old boy with a gun during an argument over salt. Both attacks appear to be racially motivated. Now, what is the evidence? Now, this is where they start to get on a slippery slope. What is the evidence that these are racially motivated attacks? Because white people attack black people? That makes it racially motivated? So all of the attacks by black people and white people are entirely racially motivated? So when Julius Malema assaulted a senior officer in the SAPS, was that not racially motivated? I mean, after all, if it just takes white attacking black, then black attacking white must be the same if you hold to that standard. By the way, we see that Devin Hofmeyer's mate that went to this event in Rublesdal is being charged with assaulting a police officer because he pushed him with his elbow. Well, given the Malema standard, that's not assault. Not according to the South African courts. I mean, Julius Malema physically assaulted. He attacked a white police officer at Winnie Mandela's funeral. We've seen the video, and the court said that wasn't assault. So how can it be assault for a young man to have pushed a police officer with his elbow? Clearly, the Malema standard should apply here. Yeah, but back to this story here. So now this is where they get themselves in trouble. Ready for this? This is City Press. The Bitter Islanders' claim to fame is that they were founded by Devin Hofmeyer, the son of avowed racist Steve Hofmeyer. Wow. What evidence do you have to offer that Steve Hofmeyer is an avowed racist, City Press? Really? Now, of course, those who are just leftist hate wankers who self-pleasure themselves at all hours of the day just can't wait to get the red meat on this story because I'm reporting the story objectively. As I said, these attacks may very well be racially motivated, but they prevent no evidence of it. So show me the evidence, and then we'll consider your argument. But what evidence they have that he's an avowed racist? None. Now, that isn't a defense of Steve Hofmeyer. That's a defense of the truth. You can't simply make such outlandish claims because you're the media. That's the problem with the media. No one holds them to a standard. They're not held to account for their failures. But you know what? In today's society, no one's held to account. Joe Biden stole top secret, sensitive compartmented information to which he had no legitimate access to. And he didn't do it in 2017, which is what Hur is trying to claim. He's claiming that Joe Biden wasn't mentally stable in 2017, so he didn't know what he's doing. He stole these documents going back when he was vice president. There are documents that were stored in his think tank in D.C. for 9 years. 9 years, ladies and gentlemen. He had them there longer than that even. These are documents that date back to when he was a senator. He has been stealing top secret information and classified information for decades, leaving it lying around in boxes next to his Corvette. I mean, his Corvette's summer for Joe Biden. Hare said he committed felony violations of law. Had that been me in uniform or any sailor, Marine, or airman, we would be in Leavenworth, tossing the salad or getting it in the backside. But Joe Biden is allowed to commit felonies like he's done his entire life and get away with it. There is no accountability for anything. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, so let's get back to the stories here. Folks, it's good to see you all again. My apologies for not being on the air the past couple of days, but I have been very busy with events that kept me tied up the entire day, and I can't shift that. I was able to shift it for about 2 weeks by doing it in the morning, but even that became impossible for this past several days, so my apologies for that. Okay, what else we got here? Madness, yep. Yeah, Andrea hopes that Steve takes them to court. I hope so too. I hope he milks them for every penny they've got. This is irresponsible. It's not journalism, and this editorial board should know better than that. And where are the editors of this newspaper to put themselves in such legal jeopardy? I'm not an attorney, but I can see that they've libeled Steve Hofmeyer, saying he's an avowed racist. Let's look up the definition of avowed, okay? Avowed. A-V-O-W-E-D. Avowed. No definition. I don't want game. That has been asserted, admitted, or stated publicly. He has not asserted, he has not admitted, or stated publicly that he's a racist. So, wow, that's very dangerous. Who avowed that he's a racist? That's a very dangerous slope that they put themselves on. Crazy stuff. Anyway, here to talk a little bit about the news tonight, folks. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. We'll talk about the news. Let me see what's going on over here. By the way, do you like the radio studio microphone? It matches the on-air sign. I can change the color at a whim, but I've kind of kept it the same here just for giggles and grins. Well, racist has become an overused term, but there's a problem with that in South Africa, Mike. If you call someone a racist without evidence, that is a crime in South Africa, calling them a racist. Not an avowed racist, but just calling him a racist is a crime without backing it up. You must present evidence of your allegation, or you can be sued for what's known as criminal injury. They've injured your character. It's defamation. It's, in this case, it's libel. And yeah, that's really a problem. All right, have a good day, Chris Marie. Sorry to see you go, but go get those kids educated. Well, the African National Congress has just 5 days to produce their cater deployment records, because the court will not, whoops, that's not what we want to see. Whoops, they have 5 days to turn them over, or they're in deep kimchi here. Why is that doing that? Okay, that is the wrong window. Hang on a second here. How'd that happen? Oh, because I restarted. That's why I restarted. Yeah, I had to restart this broadcast half a dozen times, folks. I don't know what was going on with, okay, now it's not working. Oh my goodness, give me a break. My goodness. Okay, it's not working. I'm going to have to use the screen if something's happened here to my... Anyway, yeah, so let's use the screenshot. Okay, so there we go, so you can see the screen. The ANC has 5 days to hand over cater deployment records after the Constitutional Court rejects their leave to appeal. In other words, they're trying to run the clock out again. Constitutional Court has decided that it's not in the interest of justice to hear the ANC's appeal against an order that should hand over the party's cater deployment records for the period that Ramaphosa chaired the deployment committee. They have 5 days to hand them over. And of course, who knows if they'll be left, if they're destroyed, kind of like the Democrats destroying the records of the whitewashed January 6th Commission, the fake committee that made ludicrous determinations and then destroyed all their records, terabytes of data they destroyed to hide and cover up what they were covering up in January 6th. So the ANC has just 5 days. So you better bet that stuff won't be there in 5 days. The premier of Gauteng province, the ANC's Panyaza Lesufi, is creating jobs out of thin air at taxpayer expense. That's right. And becoming the hero, buying votes in Gauteng, a province that the ANC is going to lose control of, but they're desperate to hold on to. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi is extending the employment contracts of 32,000 unemployed youth, bringing the total to 90,000 caters who've been given jobs in the last year. Now, these are not real jobs that were created by industry or by the agricultural sector, by the mining sector, or by any entrepreneur who invented a new microphone for the internet, or invented new software to broadcast, or some other invention or widget. Nope. These are jobs created by the government, paid for by the taxpayer, that do nothing for the public benefit. Nothing whatsoever, including his little personal army of Amapanyazi troops. Yeah, this is what communists do all the time. They undermine the free market by sucking money out of the economy and handing jobs out to people who produce nothing. Nothing at all. Yeah, the Democratic Alliance is pursuing graft charges against Deputy President Paul Mashatile because the presidency is not taking action. Official opposition Democratic Alliance said it had asked authorities to charge the country's Deputy President Paul Mashatile with corruption, upping the pressure on the ANC ahead of general election. Mashatile has for months been at the center of media investigations from News 24, alleging he benefited from luxury properties made available to him by his son-in-law and others in return for help securing tenders with other favors. We have laid an affidavit and supplied a charge sheet, said John Steenhuisen. We hope to continue to use whatever channels we have to make sure that justice is done and the matter is properly investigated. While you're at it, Democratic Alliance, could you please lay charges against Dr. William Kesey, who continues to suckle off the taxpayers' teat with a job in Parliament, despite the fact that the Special Investigating Unit found that he was guilty of crimes. We just need to go to a trial in the Digital Vibes case. What about Zandile Gumeda with 168 counts of corruption, still not led to a result in that case that goes back years in the Ituquini municipality, which of course is Durban? What about Ace Magashule and the Vreda dairy scandal, or the 251 million rand asbestos tender, or Jacob Zuma's billions of rand pocketed, according to Judge Hilary Squires, in the Sheikh Shabir case years ago, yet has not faced justice to this day? Never mind the fact his contempt of court, which should have been a second conviction when he failed to turn himself into the Escort Correctional Facility no later than midnight on the 4th of July, 2021. Or, for that matter, the contempt of court by Bekachile and Dlamini, who was the commissioner of police at the time, who were ordered by the court to take him to jail by midnight on the 8th, which they failed to do. He didn't show up till 2:30 in the morning. These are all criminals, wanton criminals who disrespect and disregard the rule of law. Where is the DA, the official opposition, in going after these corrupt politicians? Go after all of them. Don't select to pick a few random ones like Paul Mashatile. Go out. What about Cyril Ramaphosa, Minir Palapala, stuffing money in his suits, in his furniture? Let's go after him. So since the ANC has chosen not to act, the DA is going to act. Well, ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine this? Competing in the Comrades Marathon and people cheat to get in? That's pretty pathetic. I have actually seen the Comrades Marathon as it came down from Pietermaritzburg to Durban, the tough leg, running downhill all the way in Durban, near the finish line in 2022 when I was there. And I got to be at the Comrades, which was a lifelong ambition, is actually running it, but to watch it was pretty cool. But people are cheating. 58 athletes have been cut out of it. 58 athletes hoping to run in this year's Comrades have had their entries squashed after they were found to have cheated. The entries of 16 athletes have been rejected after it was discovered they had asked another athlete to run their qualifying marathon on their behalf, while 3 athletes were found to have ran the qualifying marathon used by another entrant to enter the 2023 event, and 27 runners lied about their qualifying times when they either didn't run or finished the marathon or ran slower than the qualifying time. Wow. And also, 1 athlete ran last year's race wearing another athlete's race number, and 5 athletes allowed others to run the course wearing their personal numbers. Unbelievable. Liar, liar, pants on fire. So many scumbags with stolen valor. That's what's going on here, stolen valor. Apparently, Naledi Pandor claims Israeli Secret Services target her and her family. Well, it'll be difficult to miss her. Well, a United States citizen was stabbed and has been murdered after an argument at a backpackers in Greenpoint. My goodness. Western Cape police arrested a 27-year-old man for the murder of a 23-year-old man at the popular Atlantic Point Backpackers on Cavalcade Road in Greenpoint, Cape Town. The National Tourism Crisis Communications spokesperson Natalia Rosa said they were saddened by the tragic incident, which had claimed the life of a U.S. guest. Another foreign national murdered at the hands of South Africa's lawless criminals. How many foreign nationals must be murdered in South Africa? Germans, Brits, Americans, Dutch, before the government of South Africa takes the safety and welfare of international tourist arrivals more seriously. South Africa is not a safe place to go for South Africans, let alone for people who don't know the situation and go to South Africa. Very dangerous. Yet people still go to South Africa. Well, they'll continue to murder you if you're from outside the country. So there you go, folks. Be careful out there. Another American murdered in South Africa. God wants me to be president of South Africa. No, not me, folks. Not me. Former Chief Justice Mohang says God is calling him to be the president. All right. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Yeah, former Chief Justice of South Africa Mohang has reiterated his assertion that he has been called by God to be the president of the country. Wow. Must be nice to be called by God. He hasn't called me to be president. Yep. Val, it's not unusual. Be careful what you write in there. YouTube automatically censors stuff. Well, the African National Congress is gearing up for a big fight in Gauteng province with the Democratic Alliance and its coalition partners. Yep. But the DA says this is unrealistic. Although polls suggest support for the ANC in Gauteng is slipping, the party believes it will retain the province and increase support. But the DA in Gauteng said the ANC beliefs were unrealistic. The ANC 2019 managed to retain a province when it garnered 50.19% of the base. The DA got 20.77% and the EF got 10.8%. But recent polls have put the ANC below 50%. DA Gauteng chairperson Fred Nell said the ANC is being unrealistic. Our observations, the ANC trends below 40%, not even 50%. The difference between us is very small. Well, I don't know if the difference between the DA and the ANC is very small. Maybe the multi-party charter, there might be a small difference, but the DA is not nearly that strong. But the ANC is in a lot of trouble. They're going to lose Gauteng, Western Cape, and possibly even KwaZulu-Natal as they implode. Well, the female church shooter is another transsexual being covered up by the media. Another transsexual shooter is gone wacko attacking Christians. And the media covers this up. They don't mention that these people who are suddenly surging with testosterone from their treatments are a danger to the public. I'm not saying all of them. I'm talking the ones who are all shooters here. They don't mention that. This report in Breitbart, the female shooter who attacked Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church has been identified as 36-year-old Janice Moreno. And there is a new subscriber right there, Jacques Hertz. Thank you for subscribing. By Donkey, I suspect that's because of the Steve Hofmeyer video. Whatever the reason is, thank you for subscribing. We need a surge of subscribers here. Yes, identified as 36-year-old Janice Moreno, who KHOU 11 television noted previously identified as Jeffrey Escalante. The station also found her prior arrest records, including arrest for failure to stop and give information, assault of a public servant, assault causing bodily injury, forgery, possession of marijuana, theft, evading arrest, unlawful carrying of a weapon. So this person was arrested for having a weapon illegally before, yet somehow managed to get a weapon. It's not guns that are a problem. It's the enforcement of the law, keeping weapons out of idiots like this. Wow. My goodness. Well, Donald Trump has asked the Supreme Court to block the idiotic ruling that he doesn't have qualified immunity as the former president. This is a ridiculous effort that's going to destroy this country. If they take away qualified immunity, then Barack Hussein Obama will be charged with murder in the unlawful assassination of American citizen in Yemen along with his son. Barack Hussein Obama is a murderer who violated due process by being judge, jury, and executioner and murdering an American citizen, a naturalized Arab Muslim, in Yemen with a drone attack, targeting him and murdering him and his son. Barack Hussein Obama is a war criminal and is a criminal without any qualified immunity, according to what they're trying to do to Donald Trump. Be careful what you wish for, political left. Trump asked Supreme Court to block ruling he lacks immunity. Donald Trump on Monday asked Supreme Court to step into the dispute over whether he may claim immunity from prosecution, once again pressing the 9 justices to solve a question that could undermine his campaign for a second term. Well, it's an illegitimate ruling. The president has qualified immunity, and this is something that's going to backfire on the Democrats. Yep. YouTube blocked you for 24 hours for taking on a Muslim. I was reported for hate speech. I don't know how that works. You mean on your channel? Is that what you're talking about? That's odd. I never heard of being blocked for 24 hours. If the DA can get both Gauteng and Western Cape, be good for the country. Well, they need KZN as well. But they'll get that with the IFP, not on their own. Trump says he'd let Russia do whatever the hell they want to NATO countries that don't pay enough. Now, this hyperbole was taken wildly out of context by the political left, saying that he's threatening the NATO alliance. Once again, we're back to the whole point about Donald Trump telling NATO partners to pay up their share. Now, I heard Talon Hall, a conservative news outlet, on Patriot Channel on Sirius XM radio earlier when I was driving back, and they reported this story. And then they also lied. They said that NATO members do not have to pay to be part of NATO. They only pay some administrative fees which manage the bureaucracy. That's true. But that's not what the issue at hand is. That's a very much misleading and false statement. The issue at hand, ladies and gentlemen, is that NATO countries all agreed before Donald Trump became president, years before, that they would contribute 2% of their gross domestic product for their national defense. And only the United States and then later the Baltic states of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania were actually meeting the 2% threshold. We were paying nearly 4% of our GDP for national defense, and the Baltics were doing the same, paying over 2%. The Germans were paying 0.9% of GDP towards national defense, which means they're freeloaders. They're scumbag, freeloading little turds who get a free ride courtesy of the American taxpayer and soldiers like me who serve to defend their national sovereignty. And the ingrates have the audacity to spend nothing on national defense. Brits the same way. Britain's military is broken. It's complete. It's a joke. It could be defeated by a number of other countries could defeat their military easily. I'm sorry. It's sad, but it's true. It's absolutely true. Their military is on life support. The same with Canada's military. It's on life support too. The leftists have so weakened their military they could probably be taken out by a high school band. That's a bit of an embellishment. But the point here is that the truth of the matter is not that Donald Trump threatened. He said, if you're not going to pay for your own defense, we're not going to pay for it, basically. But Trump needs to get his foot out of his mouth and shut up. That's what he needs to do. This is not helpful to anybody. If he wants to say that NATO members still aren't paying their 2% of GDP to pay for national defense and we're carrying the load, we are going to reduce our share and we're not going to spend as much to protect the Europeans. That's what he should say. Not the Russians can do what they want. That's just idiotic. So PBS NewsHour actually fact-checked Donald Trump, and they got it right. Wow, shocker there. Fact-checking Trump's comments urging Russia to invade delinquent NATO. It's not what he said. Yeah. No. He said, you didn't pay, you're delinquent. Trump recounted saying, no, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay, got to get your bills, got to pay your bills. Anyway, this is just nonsense. And Trump really invites this on himself. Now, The Guardian goes out its way to say that Republicans are okay with what Trump said. Well, it's political hyperbole. It's not exactly a statement of policy. Republicans say Trump call for Russia to attack NATO allies was just fine, actually. Senator Tom Cotton echoes fellow GOP senators saying former President Trump was simply ringing the warning bell, which is what he was doing. Not very articulately, but that's true. Now, Jens Stoltenberg, the bought and paid for deep state scumbag who is currently fueling a conflict leading to the deaths of tens of thousands of Ukrainians and Russians, Jens Stoltenberg, the warmonger, is saying that Donald Trump is putting EU lives at risk. You know what? You lazy little turd. We've been carrying the water for you for 75 years. How about you step up and start defending yourself? Start contributing to the NATO alliance. Especially since 1990, you lazy turds in countries like Denmark and Germany have done very little to contribute to NATO. Very little. Very little. So, grow up. NATO, this is what Tom Cotton said. NATO countries don't spend enough on defense. Like Germany, they're already encouraging Russian aggression, and President Trump is simply ringing the warning bell, said Tom Cotton. Strength, not weakness, deters aggression. Russia invaded Ukraine twice under Barack Obama and Joe Biden, but not under Donald Trump. Of course, I have told you this for years. I've told you this. And since the invasion 2 years ago, I've been making poignantly clear that Russia invaded Ukraine twice under Barack Obama and under Joe Biden. Never under Donald Trump. And under George Bush, they invaded Georgia. So, hey, that's the facts. But they don't like the facts. They don't like the facts. Fani Willis, the disgraced prosecuting attorney from Fulton County, Georgia, is in deep trouble, folks. The Epic Times reports that she could be disqualified, according to a judge. The 15 February hearing will focus specifically on the district attorney's relationship with the special prosecutor, whom she paid $660,000 to go after Donald Trump like an attack dog while she slept with him on vacations with the money she gave him illegally. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee confirmed on February 12th that the hearing about misconduct claims against Fani Willis and Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade must occur. I think it's clear that disqualification can occur if evidence is produced presenting a conflict or the appearance of one, and the filings submitted on this issue so far have presented a conflict of interest that can't be resolved as a matter of law. Well, there you go, folks. The fake racketeering case against Donald Trump in Georgia is falling apart because of the stupidity of the prosecutor. She's an idiot. She could have kept it in her pants and simply not knocked boots with this guy for a few months. She could have kept it in her pants, but nope. She illegally diverts money to her boyfriend, who is married, so she can have sex with him, so she can go on vacations with him, according to the press and according to the court. The Minsk Agreement, I don't care about the Minsk Agreement. No one ever followed the Minsk Agreement. It's not going anywhere. It really doesn't matter. How about a new agreement? Well, JetBlue shares, interest to full disclosure, I am a shareholder in JetBlue. Not many shares, but I bought them years ago for a few dollars a share, and they've grown a bit since then. But Carl Icahn, the troublemaking investor who always sticks his nose in airline business, has become an activist and bought bought a stake in JetBlue, so the shares jumped 15%. He says they're undervalued. I don't know about that. JetBlue's got a lot of problems right now. So he said JetBlue's been cutting costs and working to improve operations in an effort to return to profitability after the travel surge and a block merger with Spirit Airlines. So there he is, the 9,000-year-old Carl Icahn, always causing trouble in the airline industry. Yep, he reported a nearly 10% stake in JetBlue, saying the airline stock is undervalued, and the shares jumped to 15% in trading. He amassed a stake in a series of purchases in January and February, according to regulatory filings. Anyone who buys more than 5% of stock in a publicly traded company must disclose that to the public according to Securities and Exchange Commission rules. He bought 10%, so he must tell the public that he's a 10% shareholder. Now, that's in the public interest, and that's why they do it. Pretty cool, though, huh? Yep. So, RFK Jr. has made an apology for a Super Bowl ad in which he harkened back to his uncle, the philandering John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy has apologized to relatives after Super Bowl advert mirrored one broadcast by his uncle, his campaign in 1960. The ad aired just before the Super Bowl halftime. Images include RFK spliced into the original 1960 ad and a jaunty jingle that repeated the Kennedy surname 15 times in 30 seconds. The spot cost $7 million. A half-minute ad, $7 million. My cousin's Super Bowl ad used our uncle's faces and my mother's. She would have been appalled by his deadly healthcare views, said Bobby Shriver, the son of Eunice Kennedy and Sergeant Shriver. Yeah, anyway, so stop whining, Shriver. What a sad, pathetic story, that rich, privileged family that got wealthy off of booze running, illicit booze running. Yeah, and of course their Nazi-loving father who, was a big friend, supporter of Adolf Hitler, the ambassador to the United Kingdom. The Atlantic circulation is nearing devastating tipping point, according to The Guardian. The Gulf Stream is altering. It's all going to end. The world is collapsing. Oh, the weakened Gulf Stream would raise sea levels on the Atlantic coast of the United States as ice caps melt in the Arctic region. Rising sea levels causing cities to be flooded. Chaos across the world, all because you are heating your home and going to work in your car. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Well, Georgia's Q-Cells is going to recycle those disused solar panels. It's about damn time. They're going to work with SolarCycle and says they can reclaim more than 95% of its solar modules components. Really? North Georgia solar manufacturer giant Q-Cells announced a new partnership on Monday to recycle the panels it produces and return most of the used materials to the supply chain. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. There's a production facility in Dalton, Georgia. I'll believe it when I see it. All right. Senator Mike Lee calls for the ouster of Mitch McConnell, the Chinese communist-loving, Trump-hating, 9,000-year veteran of the U.S. Senate. This week's broadcast of Fox News Channel Sunday Morning Futures had Senator Mike Lee, where he made his case for Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell to step down from his leadership post. Why do you want Mitch McConnell to step down, said host Maria Bartiromo. Look, Republican senators are not part of some feudal system. We each are represented to each represent our own states, and on occasion after occasion, bill after bill, we've seen Senate Republican leadership joining ranks with all or most of the Democrats, sharply dividing Republicans, actively alienating most Republican voters, and taking a different position than most Republican senators in order to enact Democratic priorities and things that unite the Senate Democratic Conference. There you go. And that's exactly who Mitch McConnell is. He's a fraud Republican. He is a demon rat. He is an ally of the corrupt leftists who are running this country. He, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, and a whole host of other people like Paul Ryan. Yep. There you go. That's the bottom line. Anyway, folks, wow, it's only been 39 minutes in this broadcast. How y'all doing out there? Just wanted to do a late night broadcast. I'm actually kind of tired, but I thought I'd do something tonight since it's been a while since I've been on. I didn't want you all to think I had gone AWOL, but I've been up to something that's I hopefully will be able to announce shortly. We'll see. It just depends on how events go in the near future, but that's the plan, is to let you all in on what's been going on. What's the big secret? Where's Chris been? Well, I've been busy working my tail off, and I'll tell you about it hopefully very soon. Anyway, so, and those events kept me from broadcasting on Saturday, Sunday, and I couldn't do it all day today, Monday, so it's not until 10:30 at night that I actually come on and start talking about things and talking about the news once again. Meanwhile, things are happening around the world. Trump running his mouth when he should shut up, not helpful to the campaign. There are a lot of people who are angry with Donald Trump, but I submit to you this. If you're not angry with Joe Biden, there's really something wrong with you. I mean, that guy is just, he lost the plot completely. Have you listened to the recordings and when he speaks, and he just, my goodness, it's beyond elder abuse. It's criminal what's the American people in the world being subjected to. Yep. Good morning, Olaf. How are you? Welcome back to the program. Good to see you again. Still trying to figure out how Andrea was blocked for 24 hours. That's an interesting thing. That sounds like a Facebook sort of thing. By the way, did you see the numbers on the Tucker interview on Twitter, X, Vice, YouTube? 13 million on YouTube, 137 million on X, and 100,000 on Facebook, because it's censored on Facebook. They hide it, just like my content. It's so obvious when they do this sort of thing. They hide content of creators that they don't like because we don't spew their party line of garbage and nonsense and hatred. We treat people fairly and equally, and we don't care what color, race, creed, color, faith they are. As long as they're responsible, respectful people, we have no problem with them whatsoever. Unless, of course, they're trying to change us. We don't try to change them. Why would they try to change us? Anyway, folks, yeah, that's the bottom line with all this stuff. So, Fanny should be Fanny Willing, not Fanny Willis. Ha, 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 ha. That's a good one. That's a good one. Anyway, all right. So, any questions? Nobody's got a question here tonight. It's pretty quiet in the chat. I mean, it's now after 6 in the morning, South Africans. You should be up and rolling. And here in the East Coast, it's not quite midnight, so people should be able to ask some questions. But everybody's suspiciously quiet in the chat. I think you were caught off guard that I'd be broadcasting at this hour. So, that's fair enough. I understand that. Hillary attempted preemptive strike on Tucker and Brandon, stumbled through a response. I didn't see what Hillary did. Oh, Hillary. Oh, Hillary. I mean, come on. Tucker, if he interviews Edward Snowden, the criminal, will get a huge crowd for that as well. We know that's going to happen when he apparently interviewed Snowden as well, and the American woman who's hiding out, the Clinton accuser, whose life was in jeopardy. Gina Mulman, good morning, good evening to you. Val says, I missed those from our lifetimes. Been forced to watch Judge Judy and Gordon Ramsay Nightmare Kitchens. Sorry about that, Val. I apologize. Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares, that's not bad. But Judge Judy, oh, please, that's just painful. Judge Judy Scheinbein, no, thank you. That woman is annoying in the greatest degree you can possibly imagine. So, yeah. But I did put 2 videos up today, folks. You can go check those out. Looks like some people are leaving, though. Come on, why are you all leaving? Don't leave. I don't know, you can't say. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What a great song that was. What an absolutely great song that was, yeah. What is love? Good stuff, man. We're missing that. We're missing that. I'm surprised the Steve Hofmeyer video has only done 50 views so far. It must have been getting suppressed by the leftists again here on YouTube. Yeah, anyway. Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry you missed it, Val, but I'm sorry I wasn't broadcasting. That's why I do the broadcasting. People miss it when it's gone. Even when we have lower viewer numbers, we still have a dedicated core group of people who do tune in. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. What a great song. What a great song. What is love? Who sang that anyway? I can't remember who that was. Google. What is love? Gleese. Okay. You get desperate for stuff to listen to. I hear you, man. Let me see. Oh, it's going to be an ad on here. Don't want the ad, so we'll take it off. Yeah, what a great song that was, man. Oh my goodness. 304 million views. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. It had that many views. Why can't I hear that?
No more. Baby, don't hurt.
What a great song, man. That is great. Yes, that was Evening Night at the Roxbury, but that was for Saturday Night Live's kid. Those guys are great. Okay, work is waiting. Okay, have a great day there, Andrea. Thanks. Yeah, what a great song that was, man. Incredible stuff. What a great song. I've never seen the video before. I mean, I know the song for years. Been getting up to date with the Bella bill that was passed in the Assembly, the Peltzer case, commentaries. Yeah, Willem Petzer case. Yeah, Willem Petzer, there's a problem going on there. So that's related to the Grubelsdaal case, apparently. So we'll see. Yep. All right.
Baby, don't hurt me.
No more. Wow. 304 million views. Can you imagine that? Having a video that has 304 million views. Think about all the time that this song itself is, what, 3 or 4 minutes? 4 minute long, 4 minutes, 304 million times. If people watch the entire song, how many millions of hours of content that is? Or thousands of hours. Wow. Load shedding. Yeah, no doubt. Very painful. Anyway, what is love? 304. That's just on YouTube, man. Just on YouTube. Yeah, good stuff. Man, I miss the 80s. I miss the 80s so much. That wasn't the 80s, though. I don't think. Was it? When did that song come out? Oh, Hardaway, not Glees. Hardaway. What is love? Hadaway, excuse me. Yeah, let's see when that song came out. Google. Come on. 93. Yeah, it wasn't an 80s song. I didn't think so. It was in 93 is when it came out. Yep, good stuff. I love, these YouTube things. I watched them last night of black Americans watching Rick Astley. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you. Rick Astley, man, was the bomb. He was incredible. And all these people thought he was black. It's so funny. Yeah, that's because I was playing music. Wilma, they won't let you do that. Yeah, that's why. Oh, the crowd's disappearing here, so let me see. Yep. We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. Man, what a great song. What a great song. Oh, man. Rick Astley. Oh, man. 1.5 billion views on this one 14 years ago. That was a great song. Now, that's me. Rick Astley gave up his recording career to raise his kids. What a noble thing. He had plenty of money, and he had all the fame, and he walked away. But he's back now. He did an album recently. So, give you up. Never gonna let you. 1987. Oh, what a great year. It's when I got out of the Army and went back to college. Rick Astley, man. What an incredible stuff. What a great voice. What a great voice. Yeah, it could be your side, but no, it's good on this side. We'll stop it there so we don't get in trouble. Yeah, what a great song that was, man. We're no strangers to love. Oh, man, I love that music. Alphaville, man, Forever Young. I want to be forever young. Do you really want to live forever? Oh, man. The 80s. Gosh, I remember we played that note for note, and we did that a couple years ago, and we got all those copyright claims. That was such fun. And then we finally got shut down because one of them, they just had a copyright, they shut me down. You're playing copyrighted music. That's so unfair, man. Let us play note for note, name that tune. I can name that tune in 2 notes. Really? What's that tune? Oh, my goodness. Started listening to 70s and 90s songs on YouTube. Yeah, I listen to 80s songs on YouTube. There's some good stuff out there. Let me see if I can find one of those channels. YouTube. 80s music. '80s music greatest hits. Let's see what they come up with here. Okay. Iconic party list, Amazon Music Unlimited. Okay. Back to the '80s greatest hits. Oldies. That's funny. Okay, that's an ad. I don't need that ad. That doesn't tell me what songs were. Let's see. Skip this. Come on. Skip the ad. Come on. Oh, it's not playing. That's why. Come on. I wonder if this is a live streamer. It's classic music. Let me see. Oh, nothing there. Oh, it's buffering. That's weird. Is the channel no good? All right, let's get rid of that channel. Okay, here we go. Music. Oh, there you go. Aha. Take on Me. Every Breath You Take by The Police. Thriller by Michael Jackson. It's after midnight and something evil's taken by the... Oh, the Doobies, the Eagles. Yeah, Chicago were awesome, yeah. My daughter loved Rick Astley. Yeah, we all love Rick Astley, man. Yeah, good stuff. Something evil in the dark. Boy, Michael really had his crap together for a while, and then he just went off the deep end. Remember that was like a 16-minute music video? It's so cool. Oh, my goodness. So cool. Like a Virgin, Madonna. Like a Virgin. Whoops, I don't want that. I got to put that on mute. It's a touch for the very first time. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. There's another one here. Take on Me by Aha, Norwegian group. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Tears for Fears. Yeah, that was a great song. Yep, never forget that. Welcome to your life. Yeah, man. Tears for Fears. Good stuff. Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel. I wasn't a big fan of that. I Want to Dance with Somebody. Whitney. Whoops. Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper. Not a big fan. Material Girl. Yeah. What else you got there? Sweet Child of Mine, Guns N' Roses. Okay. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. Come on, what else? Every Breath You Take by The Police. Yeah, those are not the songs. What else? I like Borderline by Madonna. Borderline. Keep on. Anyway, that was a great song. West End Girls. Oh, yeah. West End Girls by Pet Shop Boys. And the West End Girls and Dead End Boys. East End Girls and West End Boys. West End Girls. Bad Company was good. Yeah, good stuff. Man. Tainted Love. Oh, yeah. Tainted Love by Soft Cell. Now that rocked. Tainted Love. Oh, man, I love that. Soft Cell. Good song. Yep. Soft Cell's rendition of Tainted Love established the band's place in history. Despite the original song by Ed Cobb being released in 1964, the duo was part of a new wave synth pop genre and enjoyed a platinum-selling album debut after a short break of the band reformed and released an album in 2001 before hosting a reunion concert in 2018. Yep. Relax. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Yeah, Frankie Goes to Hollywood's provocative hit Relax is another defining song in the 80s and helped the creators become famous. The single became the 7th best-selling single in the UK of all time, and the band's debut album reached number 1 in 1984. They followed up with the instant hit with the classics The Power of Love. Yeah. And remember ABC? Yeah. Journey, Don't Stop Believing. Oh, what a great song that was. While some might enjoy Glee's rendition of this classic, no, I don't enjoy that idiotic, show. It was Journey that originally shot to fame with Don't Stop Believing, the upbeat tempo. Street lights, people goes on and on. Just a small town boy living in a city. The Power of Love by Huey's Newest and Liz. That one didn't do it for me so much. It's the Power of Love. Yeah, Wayfarers. Oh, there you go. Yeah, though Ray-Ban first introduced them in 1956, Wayfarers had their moment in the sun in the 1980s. I had Wayfarers. Yep, the classic cool kid shades were brought to the forefront by the Blues Brothers at the start of the decade and later featured in the quintessential 1980s music video Sunglasses at Night by Corey Hart. I wear my sunglasses. Oh, yeah, it was so cool. Yep. Wayfarers. Velvet dresses. They were big in the 80s, too. What else? Fanny packs. Yeah, sadly, fanny packs were around. Neon everywhere. That's true. Everybody was wearing neon. Sequins and sparkle. That was huge with a lot of the artists. Layered gold jewelry, that was also huge in the 80s. Bomber jackets. Yeah, that was huge in the 80s, the bomber jackets. And huge hair bows. Yeah, that was weird too in the 80s. Those big hair bows. Acid wash jeans. Yep, that was the 1980s. Leotards. Yeah, that was not my cup of tea, but they had loud patterns. That was true too. What else? Off the shoulder. That was the shirts. Power suits. And then what else we got here next? Most iconic hairstyles in the 1980s. I wouldn't see that. What a crap show the Super Bowl was. First time watched 10 years ago. Really? I keep hearing from everybody it was a great show. I didn't watch it all. Bed of Roses by Bon Jovi. Yeah, that's a good song too, Vilma. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, that is good stuff. Anyway. Yeah. Toto, Africa. Yeah. I hear the rains down in Africa. Yeah. Oh, that Billy Idol, man. White Wedding. That was good stuff. Yep. Good stuff. Culture Club. Man, the 80s. I'm just looking at all these bands. Tears for Fears. I already said that one. And Flock of Seagulls. I Ran So Far Away. Oh, man. What a great song. Man. Flock of Seagulls. Man, I loved New Wave. It was great stuff. Great stuff. Man, Flock of Seagulls is a weird group of guys, but that song was so cool. I don't know why, it hit the spot, you know what I mean? I'm watching some ad here from, who is this? Acura. I'm not buying an Acura. Get over yourself. Come on. It was a great show apart from the woke ads. The devil worship in the game was a sideshow for the Taylor Swift. Yeah, they cut away from touchdowns. Are you serious? I didn't know that. Huh. Man, Flock of Seagulls. Man, oh man, Flock of Seagulls. They're still playing, man. They're playing in Middleton, New York on the 23rd of March. They'll be in British Columbia on the 9th of March. The 28th, they'll be in Cleveland at the House of Blues. And the 29th of March at Lexington, Kentucky. Wow. Man, Flock of Seagulls. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. And what about Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer? That thing is timeless, too. In my taste, strange if the Ballad of the Green Berets was always gets... Well, I sang that, Val. You know that, right? I sang that with Steve Hofmeyer, the Ballad of the Green Beret. Yep, that was good stuff. Yep. Yep, sang that with Steve Hofmeyer at Velbedocht. Usher thanked God before his performance, and lots of players did the same. Oh, that's not allowed. Yep, the Ballad of Green Beret, 1966. Yep. Yeah, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I don't watch the Super Bowl ever since Colin Kaepernick took a knee. It's a racist league, and it's full of woke garbage, and enough of it. I've had enough of it. I'm sorry. I just can't stand the marginalization of majority people. It shouldn't happen to anybody. Dog Star. I don't know that. Saw Steve's son along with Willem Petzer have been arrested and charged of inciting violence. Yes, Arctic, and I did a video talking about the libel. See, you guys don't watch my content, man. That's so disheartening, so heartbreaking that I put all the time and effort into doing news analysis, producing videos, just so people can ignore them. I made a video about that earlier, and obviously people don't know about it, talking about that incident, but focusing on City Press's libel against Steve Hofmeyer. And that video is up. It's only a short video, about 4 minutes. But yeah, no, I did see that. And I also saw Willem Petzer putting an ad out there. Well, they've been waiting to get Willem Petzer for a long time, and he pushes that button. So, yes, I know, Arctic. I'm just ragging on you. I know you've been traveling home. Glad to see you got home safely, though. Glad to see you got home safely. Did you hear a door flew off of a plane, a small plane? I don't know what kind of plane it was. I don't know if it was a Sandpiper or a Cessna 28 Caravan or whatever. I have no idea. But news report this evening that some plane lost its door. Its rear door blew off. That's not good, man. That's not really aerodynamic when doors fly off of planes. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. It's not a good thing. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, but check out that video when you get a chance there, Arctic. See what you think. Let me see if anybody else has watched it here. Take a quick gander at it. So let me see. Is that right? Still just 50 viewers? That's crazy. 64 views. Okay. 64 views. But that's very slow and below the norm. Oh, way below the norm for my videos. So, yep. Yeah, it must be getting suppressed by the poo tube. Anyway, yeah. especially if you use Boeing for Boeing. Ouch, 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 ouch. No, I think it was a private plane, not one of those private jet crashes in Naples. In Naples, Florida. Okay, let me take a look at that. Oh. Oh, 2 Bombardier Challenger 604 crashed on interstate. What? What the hell? Naples plane crash. What do we know from the National Transportation Safety Board? What is going on? I didn't hear about this plane crash. Like I said, I've been very busy. My goodness. Less than 24 hours after a jet crashed on Interstate 75, only minutes from reaching the runway at Naples Airport, officials from the NTSB were on the ground. What do we know? The Collier County Sheriff's Department on Saturday afternoon identified the 2 people aboard the Bombardier Challenger 600 that crashed. They were the pilot and co-pilot, both from Broward County. Pilot Edward Daniel Murphy, 50, of Oakland Park, and second-in-command Ian Frederick Hoffman, 65, of Pompano Beach. 3 others on the board of the plane were taken to area hospital treated for their injuries. Video shows Naples man rushed to help victims before a fiery plane crash. Huh. Wow. They landed right on the highway. NTSB said preliminary information that the pilot radioed the airplane had a dual engine failure on approach. Wow. The flight had originated at Ohio State University in Columbus. NTSB investigator arrived at the scene on Friday. Several more investigators arrived on Saturday. Wow. Wow. The Federal Aviation Administration said the Bombardier Challenger 600 crashed. At least 1 vehicle was destroyed. The plane crashed at roughly 4.7 miles from the airport. The plane was coming from Columbus to Naples. It left Ohio at 12:30. King said the airport lost communication with the plane just before the crash. On Friday night, a Hoppajet charter company released a statement saying it had received confirmed reports of accident involving one of our leased aircraft, and it would dispatch a team to the crash site. And you're saying that full of fuel, tried landing I-75, but not a forced landing, as they never lined up with the highway, so end up going off the road. Yeah, it looks like it ran into a wall. There's a sound barrier there. It looks like they ran into that. My goodness. Yes, I heard you singing with Steve was great. Gave me goosies. Okay, cool, Val. Okay. Full of fuel. Man, hit the barrier. Yeah, it did hit the barrier. Yeah, and wow, that's crazy. So we know our father died a hero, said plane crash pilots, survivors ID'd. The Collier County Sheriff's Office identified them. Okay, 3 people survived. Crew members Sydney Ann Bozeman's of Jupiter, Florida, along with 2 passengers, 35-year-old Aaron Baker and 23-year-old Audrey Green of Columbus. They were treated for injuries at a local hospital. Ian's family provided Fox 4 with a statement about their loved one's passing. His last moments, calmly speaking with ATC as he tried to save the passengers and crew in the face of a desperate emergency of losing both engines at low altitude, is how we will always remember him. The family is in shock and devastated, but want to express our thanks for the heartfelt support we received. We know our father died a hero, doing his best to save everyone he could on the plane. We ask for prayers during this difficult time. Wow. He said his father was a hero that was able to get the plane on the ground and save the lives of passengers and flight attendant. Survived by his wife Christiana, former wife Joan Mattis, and his children Grant, Chris, Reed, and Grace. That's sad. That's sad. Man. So the people that apparently were hit by the plane, there was cars hit by the plane. They had minor injuries, but their cars are devastated. Wow. A 48-year-old man from Naples was inside his 2015 Chevy Silverado when it was shredded by the plane. Miraculously, he only had suffered minor injuries. Another vehicle, 2023 Nissan Armada, was also hit, and a 66-year-old one from Massachusetts was driving. There were 2 passengers. None of them were hurt. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible that the people on the ground were not killed. I remember when the Lockerbie crash happened, when it was knocked down by the terrorist from Libya, that a lot of people were killed on the ground. Arctic says, I agree with the statement. We're going to have to see the report. Dual engine failure with fuel on board is unheard of. Yeah, no, exactly. It sounds really strange what's going on there. Yeah. No, but you're right. We'll have to wait for what the NTSB has to say before we prematurely say the guy was a hero. But yeah, it's fine. Let the family say that. I have no issue with that. Monray Siebert says, good morning. Okay. Yep. Anyway, so yeah, and I missed the Velvedock concert this year because I was here in Pennsylvania when I could have been in South Africa. I could have had a V8. Anyway, yeah, so I was not there. But anyway, have a good day. Jet lag is kicking. Yeah, it's kicking in for me too. It's 11:35 here, and we've been at this for an hour. So I'm going to wrap it up here, folks. You can see the clock behind me. It is 11:35 Eastern Standard Time on February 12th. 2024, and it is Monday, soon to be Tuesday, in 25 minutes here on this side. Greetings to everyone around the world, and thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button, and we'll catch you tomorrow for a regular broadcast. Wow, look at that. We'll be back for a regular broadcast. Yep. So thanks a lot for sticking with me, and appreciate it. You guys take care, and thanks for the update on that plane crash in Naples. I missed that one entirely. I've been focused on what's happening up here. We're supposedly going to get hit with snow here, but they can't make their mind up. It's going to snow. It's raining right now. Don't know what's really going to happen. The temperature is too warm. It's about 8 degrees or 10 degrees too warm for it to be snow. So we'll see if it drops overnight. Thanks a lot, everybody. God bless. Have a lovely evening. And thanks for sticking with me. Always do appreciate your patronage. I'm going to hit the rack now. It is late, and I think that our pilot there needs to hit the rack, and so does Mike here in PA. So y'all take care, and we'll see you later today for South Africans, but in the late morning for those of us here on the East Coast. Cheers, everybody. Good night, and thank you so much for being here. God bless.